This is Groundeffected. My name is your dad, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I painted Harley Quinn. Again, we've done this once before, however, there was a huge problem which I'm going to explain to you right now. But before I explain anything to you, make sure to leave a like and possibly a subscribe, and let's get on with the rest of this video. Sometime around almost a year, possibly more ago, I painted a model for a customer. I was commissioned to paint this Harley Quinn, which is sculpted by VX Labs. Once I had painted it, I packed it up as carefully as I possibly could, put it in the post office, and sent it to the person. Unfortunately, I did everything that I needed to do, except for keep one small piece of paper. Let me explain. When I sent this model through the post office, I packed it up, I paid for the shipping, which was a 2-day shipping, as well as I paid the insurance that would cover me in case the model got damaged or in the event that the model went missing. What ended up actually happening was I wasn't told that the tiny little piece of paper that was the cover of the front of the import piece of paper needed to be kept. In fact, the writing that said you needed to keep this piece of paper was written on the piece of paper that was stuck onto the parcel that I had sent overseas. Now, sure, I probably should have put a little bit more attention into the pieces of paper that I needed to keep in order to allow the company to honor the insurance which I paid for. But silly me, and I threw away one of those pieces of paper. Probably just got misplaced in the transport between getting home and going back to working on another project. Unfortunately, flash forward to a couple weeks later, and I was getting messages from my customer saying his model has not arrived. Where is his model? Why has he not got his model? So the next step was to find out from the shipping companies where the model is. So we tracked the model and found out that it was sitting in one of their import warehouses or something like that. Basically, the model needed to be approved to be imported. It was going from UK to America, and these things need to be approved. Of course, sometimes people are sending things they shouldn't be sending, so I get that. Fine, couple of extra days in import waiting for it to be approved to be taken into the new country. Fair enough, I left it. Couple of weeks went by and I still never heard anything, and my customer was asking me where his model is. And finally, after many weeks, we found out that actually UPS has lost my model. Yes, a box the size of a small child has just turned up missing. Fantastic news for me, because that means I have to now reimburse my customer and just lose the time of my life that I spent making this model. Unfortunately, the issue for me is that I create content around the models that I make, and I'm pretty much back to back daily, 7 days a week, just to keep up with making the content that I currently make. Unfortunately, that meant that I didn't have time to remake this new model for the customer. We are now a year later, and I had no resolution after many emails back and forth between UPS and Parcel Force. The company that I had originally used to send my parcel didn't give two flying craps about whether I had paid insurance or not, because a tiny little piece of paper that was on the front of that thing is not being kept, and because of that they can't refund me. They were happy to take my money, but they couldn't refund me when I had paid for the insurance to be able to cover a situation exactly like this. Now, as a small business owner and an artist who doesn't actually live with millions of pounds in my bank account, I live day to day, and technically if I don't work every single day, I can't feed my family at the end of the week. And unfortunately, if I can't feed my family, it means they die, and if my family dies, then I'm gonna die, and if I die, there is no more art. So it's kind of like a vicious circle, this thing. So I could have totally given up 1 week or maybe even 2 weeks of content creation just to honor this guy's model, and in theory maybe that was the right thing to do. But thinking about it, I went with what I thought was good for myself, was to keep the content going and keep moving forward with the things that I'm doing. So I did that. Now we're a year later, and I need to remake this guy's model, and there wasn't really a way I could figure out how to fit this into my schedule without making the same video over again. So what I ended up doing was taking on a person who was really interested in making and painting models, and I brought them into the studio and we spent 3 full days going over everything that you need to know how to make and paint a model. I took this young person through everything. We started out at the beginning from prep all the way to magnet fitting, how to sculpt parts that maybe broke or maybe cracks, and filling gaps and all these kind of things. We went through absolutely everything. It took us 3 days, a total of 28 to 30 hours of actual work time, and once it was done, I was pretty certain that not only had I managed to make content out of this, but I'd also managed to get the model done for the customer, and more importantly, bring someone new into the hobby and give them the tools that they will need to go further and take this hobby wherever they wanted to take it. While doing this, I have also figured out that this is something that I also enjoy too. The main reason I started making videos in the first place was because I wanted to share the knowledge that I was gaining every day. As I was learning the knowledge, I was making videos about that same exact knowledge and sharing it with everybody. And being able to share a couple of days with someone and teach them the stuff that I've learned myself is a good thing, I think, and it's something that I actually personally really enjoy. I've been tattooing for 20 years and I've taught people how to tattoo. Now I'm moving into the new era of my life and I'm still teaching people how to do things, and that's probably something I will never give up. I enjoy bringing new people into new hobbies and teaching them the things that I've learned the hard way. And with that said, I'm so glad to have spent this weekend with this young lady and taught her everything I could have known. She probably won't remember half of it, but she's got a massive step up for the next time she starts a model on her own, and hopefully that will give her the confidence to keep pushing forward with this particular hobby. Maybe it turns into a career for her. And with all that said, that's pretty much where I called this model done, and we packed it up, and this is the results of our painting over the last 3 days. I hope you enjoy. Hopefully you've managed to take some information out of this video that may help you in the future, and if it does, maybe you want to leave a like or even a comment in the little square box that YouTube gives you to leave some comments in. Once you've done that, share the video with your gran, and let's get on to thanking the Patreons who actually make any of these videos even possible in the first place. Of course, I like to thank everybody who watches my videos, but more importantly, I'd like to thank the Patrons, because without the Patrons, there wouldn't be a light blinding my eyeball. And this week, we got a couple new Patrons who I would like to thank right now. D. Robbo and Richard Evans, thank you my dudes for blinding my light with the eyes of the Patreon. Of course, we are at the part of the video, my favorite part, and probably most other people's favorite parts too. This is when I get to tell you, if you didn't like anything you saw in this video or any of the other videos, it's not my problem, and you can kindly now just f*** off. Now let me go and post this thing and fix the problem of the postal service, which wasn't my fault in the first place.